students at Al-Khawarizmi High School, the Directorate of Marrakesh, the Regional Academy of Marrakesh, Safi. Good afternoon, all second-year baccalaureate students across Morocco, dear viewers and followers. Welcome to this new episode from the second-year baccalaureate English program series. Today we're going to deal with a new lesson about English grammar. If you want, to follow my previous videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click on the notification bell to receive my latest videos. If you do not opt for YouTube, of course, you can also log into my Facebook page, which is entitled English for All, as you can see on the screen. So as you can see, and as I told you in the introduction, today we're going to talk about relative clauses. We're going to see what do we mean by a relative clause and how do we construct relative clauses. So as you can see with me here, we have what we call some relative pronouns. So today we're going to look at these relative pronouns. So the first one is who, the second one is which, the third one is whom, whose, and that. So as you can see here, we have about 5 relative pronouns. We also have when and where. I will talk about them later on. So as you can see, the first relative pronoun that we have is who, and normally this relative pronoun is used in order to refer to a person. A person which is normally a subject in the sentence. Okay? I will show you some examples here. We have which is used in order to replace or refer to a thing or object. Whom is used in order to refer to a person, but not as a subject. It refers to a person as an object in the sentence. Whose is used to replace, of course, a person, but in the possessive state in a sentence. That is used to replace both a person or a thing. An object here. So each pronoun here is used to substitute or to refer or replace a noun that we have already talked about. That's why we call them relative pronouns, because they relate a clause with another, or they relate a clause to another. When we say a clause, it simply means a sentence. Though there is some slight difference between a clause and a sentence, I will not go into these details here. So, as you can see here, we have the relative clauses are any clauses that start with one of these pronouns. A sentence which starts with one of these relative pronouns is called a relative clause. Let's have a look at the following sentences. We will try to read them. We have Ahmed is my friend. He lives in Canada. These relative clauses are used in order to join these two sentences so as to avoid repetition of the same, if you want, subject or the same noun. So we're talking about, let's say, Ahmed, which is a subject here, and he, which is also a subject. So we can relate the two sentences here using one of these relative pronouns. So we can start with the main subject, which is Ahmed, who lives in Canada is my friend. Later on in the lesson, I will try to actually explain another type of, let's say, relative clause. We'll talk about the types of relative clauses. Now, let's just introduce them in sentences so that we can understand them well. And then I will try to give you the different types and how do we use them and how do we, if you want, limit their function, okay? So we have Ahmed is my friend. He lives in Canada. So we get this sentence, Ahmed, who lives in Canada, is my friend. So the relative clause that we have in this sentence here is who lives in Canada. This is the relative clause that we have. We have Ahmed is my friend, and the relative clause is limited here. Who lives in Canada? Good. Let's go to this sentence, to the second sentence. We have, that man is my English teacher. His shirt is blue. So we can simply join these two sentences and say, that man. So in order to define the man, we have the following pronoun. Whose. Whose what? Whose shirt is blue is my English teacher. So the relative clause here is whose shirt is blue. That's the relative clause that we have here. That man whose shirt is blue is my English teacher. Let's go to sentence number 3. Mark is a bank manager. I lent him my car. So, Mark, the relative pronoun that we're going to use here is whom. Whom I lent my car. We have a preposition that we insert here, which is to, and we can replace it to this position before whom. And it will be Mark, to whom I lent my car, is a bank manager. So I want you to concentrate on the relative pronoun, of course, yeah. So Mark, whom I lent my car to, is a bank manager. I said that to here, the position, we have two possibilities. Either we place it before the relative pronoun, or we keep it until the end. I mean, the final position of the relative clause. So we have, the relative clause is whom I lent my car to. So when you finish writing the relative clause, you insert to. Though we do not have it here, okay? Let's go to the last sentence here. We have, I bought a new car. It is fast. So it's going to be like this. I bought a new car. The relative pronoun that we're going to use is which is fast. The relative clause here is which is fast. So as you can see here, if you want to understand these relative pronouns very well, I want you to look at the position of each of them, of each, let's say, pronoun. So we have Ahmed, he. So he is in an equivalent in terms of pronunciation of who. So we have he, who. So whenever you have a pronoun which is from the same category, I'm talking about the subject pronouns which are, for example, like he, for example, she, I, you, and so on and so forth. So we have he is the equivalent in terms of pronunciation. It's very close in pronunciation to who. Okay? We have his, which is a possessive pronoun which replaces all possessive pronouns that we have. So we have his, whose. It's very close in terms of pronunciation. So if you have a relative pronoun which is possessive pronoun, or possessive if you want adjective here, so we have whose. So we use whose in order to replace his, and all, the relative pronouns which are from the same category. Here we have him. Sorry, I have to underline them. So we have that man and his, and we have Mark and him. So as you can see, him is used as an object here. It is used as an object. So we have Mark, whom I lent my car to. So we have I lent him, Mark whom I lent. So it's very close in terms of pronunciation. So we can use whom to replace all, the object pronouns which are like him or her, for example. I bought a new car. So we have a new car, or if you want just car, and it. So the car here is an object or a thing. We use which to replace it. So I bought a new car which is fast. So as you can see here, the relative pronoun is this part here. That's what we actually mean by relative clauses. So part of the sentence which is, in the square here, or which is underlined in these sentences, are what we mean by relative clauses. We call them relative clauses because they start with a relative pronoun, like who, whose, whom, and which. And if you want, we can also have that, when, and where. So these are the main relative pronouns that we have, and some, if you want, examples of relative clauses.